how do you handle your stress?
I play games. I play PS5. I watch cartoons. Pokemon is my go-to cartoon.
Tech glitch during a presentation. Your first move will be?
Probably blaming the office ghost. I would have loved to dance, but I'm a bad dancer.
Okay, maybe I can teach you few steps.
Probably after the show.
Sure. How will you build your new team? Like imagine that everyone has a different superpower.
Let's go with Hulk. Like you've given a task to work. No thinking of what's happening, no thinking of that. You know what your end goal is. You just get to work. You would still need an Iron Man. You need that bit of humor in the team. You need that bit of casualness in the team. You can't always go strict.
What kind of superhero you want to be?
I think I'm Iron Man.
You told me that you faced several failures in your life. You wanted to join the army and then you got your back hurt, right? Accident. So how did you actually feel that time?
The first thing that I've learned with failure is that don't publish till you actually achieve it, right? None of my friends, none of my family members actually know about the army recruiting. Not many people know about. One thing also that I've learned is everything that happens for a reason, and you always need to look at a bigger picture. Especially with career, you cannot have a short run. It's but natural that you'll start facing failures. I mean, everyone does, right? Your favorite superstars have done it, your favorite superheroes have done it, your family's gone through failures, your friends have gone through failures, you will go through failures. No matter what you do right and everything that can go well, you can still fail. And sometimes you just need to brush it off saying it's bad luck and just move on and you carry forward with life.
Sir, firstly, we are very delighted to have you here in our College and Institute of Technology. I am Gopinath, pursuing my UG in Mechanical Engineering. Sir, in the morning session, when you addressed our students, you actually told them to not to address you as sir. How is that even possible? Because like calling people or calling someone who is a level higher to them, we used to call them as sir. You told them to not to call you as sir. You just asked the students to be casual as enough.
See, it's two things, right? One is it was more of a casual interaction that I wanted to have with you guys. And second, I feel very disrespected in a way, right? Because I am not very respectful enough to carry that title of sir. And there are much more, it's a prestigious title. And I feel I haven't done enough so to be worthy of that title yet. Maybe someday when I get knighted, hopefully, I get that title. But for now, and that's the reason why I've asked people to call me by my name.
So how should I call you now?
You can just call me Sam.
Okay. One thing which I was really impressed in the morning session was, as I said, it was the casual interaction between you and the students. Firstly, you asked them the questions. Students showed their questions to you, and then you took your time and then you answered to them in a proper and in a casual and in a very transparent way. In general, people used to come, deliver a speech or deliver a session, and then they used to take questions. But what you did is, you actually took the questions in the firstly, and then you responded to it. So is that your way of handling to people?
See, I think that's where I try to make a difference, right? Because most of the times what happens is we come with a preconceived notion of a set of things that we would like to address. The receiving audience may or may not be receptive to what we would like to speak. And that's the reason generally when I'm especially interacting with students, my first go-to response is to hear what students want and obviously build stories accordingly to the questions that to cater for the larger audience. And I think it's my style more to do with anything, because it's for me it's not about honestly it's not about delivering a speech or a lecture. It's more about trying to educate the students, empower students and give them enough perspective to knowledge. Like I said in the entire conversation, I've never said something is right or something is wrong, right? It's just that giving them enough educational information for them to make the right choice for themselves, and everybody has their own career path. So that's the reason why it's always the other way around with me.
Okay, yeah, it was like actually, we actually felt that we are speaking to a senior. We didn't feel like we are speaking to an HR. The interaction was like so transparent and it was so casual. Thank you so much for that. So now we'll move to the question session. It will be like just multiple choice questions, sir. So the first question is, how does an HR handle stress, or how do you handle your stress?
I play games. So I play PS5. I watch cartoons. Pokemon is my go-to cartoon. And to be honest, I think these are some of the things that are more of stress busters for me, because it's something that I've been doing since a child. And I think I'll continue to do so in the future as well. And and always, especially with cartoons, right? And especially with Pokemon being such a long, lengthy cartoon for about 15 to 20 years now, there are these pockets of wow moments you realize in the cartoon itself. So something that you can relate to your real life, right? Without your knowledge, you try and relate something that they must have said in a very in a cartoony way, but that it kind of hits you and it makes you think, it makes you realize certain things, and that is the reason why I kind of go to these two places for me to stress burst.
We are just UG students and we are facing very difficult in managing time. So how are you like managing this time, because you are in a senior position and you have more responsibilities to do than us. So when it comes to time management, how are you actually dealing that?
See, time management is, see, if you want to do it, you do it. You always find the time to do it, right? Irrespective of which level you are, which post you are, who you are. If you honestly want to take a break from work, you need to, and trust me, you need to start taking a lot of breaks from work. Because if you continuously do the same things that you're doing, you will feel burnt out. And once you feel burnt out, the same task that you would take maybe 10 minutes to do, you'll end up taking hours together to complete it, and even not appropriately right. So for those reasons, taking breaks is very important for me. And sometimes, most of the times, like I said, like I play games, cartoons, like when I'm stressed out too much. But most of the time, it's my pet dog. Taking him for a walk, playing around with him, for small pockets of moments of fun. Those things help keep insanity in check.
So the next question is tech glitch during a presentation. Your first move will be number one, an interruptive dance to convey the message, blaming it on an office ghost, or else pretending it's a new feature and embracing the chaos, turning it into an impromptu movie night with popcorn.
I think it's more of probably blaming the office ghost, right? Because I'm someone who, when there's chaos, I like humor around me. And something like as simple as blaming it on the office ghost is the best way to get the crowd relaxed, because most of the times when you're trying to present, even when you're not the presenter, and then there's a tech glitch, there's always a nervousness in the room, and breaking this nervousness is more important to me. I would have loved to dance, but I'm a bad dancer, so I would still go with blaming the ghost.
Okay, maybe I can teach you a few steps.
Probably after the show.
Sure. Okay, the next question is, how do you typically respond to major setback at work? Number one, take immediate action to address the issue. Reflect on what went wrong and why. Seek input and collaboration from your team members, or all of the above.
It's all of the above, and I'll tell you the reason why. While reflecting is important, and I think that's the first move I would still do. I will reflect and figure out what went wrong and how could we have done better. I would still seek inputs from team members, because something could have got missed in my hindsight, something that maybe they saw that could have done better in a much different way. So for those reasons, I think in a step-by-step process, I would do all the three, but at various times. I wouldn't do them together. Like I said, I would still introspect first and then reach out to team members and then figure out the other rest of the decisions as to what went wrong. But end of the day, I would still take the onus irrespective of what it is. And that's the reason why I said all of the above.
How will you build your new team? Like imagine that everyone has a different superpower.
Are you asking me to build an Avenger?
Probably.
So I would need someone who is headstrong.
Okay.
Right? Someone who is executionally good. Okay. Right? Who just gets down to the grind of things, right? Okay. But you give them a problem solution, they get to work.
Okay, that is Captain America, I guess.
I wouldn't say Captain America. I would still go with a Hulk, because we're talking about people who get into things immediately.
Oh yes.
Right?
Okay.
Just instantly, like you've given a task to work. Okay. Right? No thinking of what's happening. No thinking of that. You know what your end goal is. You just get to work. Right? Someone like Captain America, I would still need in the team. Someone who could lead from the front. Right? Someone who can think from all aspects or all angles while the end goal is still there. But Captain America doesn't necessarily jump into things immediately. You still think about what are the right things to do, what are the wrong things that can go wrong, and then you take a collective decision call. Right? You would still need a Captain America. You would still need an Iron Man, because he's Iron Man, right? But not just because of that. I think that tech savvy guy, who's also that pun intended. You need that bit of humor in the team. You need that bit of casualness in the team. You can't always go strict and bent first. So you still need someone of that sort to kind of balance things out. I would still come out of Marvel and probably go to DC. I would say Batman, right? The Dark Knight, the unsung
Exactly, my
hero.
favorite.
You would still need people like them in the team who the only aim for them is to get the job done, right or wrong, later or now, doesn't matter to them. Just try to get the job done. So you need those unsung heroes in the team as well, and someone like the new gen Spider-Man, who's new, who's trying to be tech savvy, who's got the gadgets, who's new gen, who comes with a lot of creativity, makes mistakes, but at the same time is able to learn from it, kind of own. So this would be the ideal team.
What kind of superhero you want to be? Spider-Man, Iron Man, Batman, Hulk?
I think I'm Iron Man.
So next, the most important question. It is not like question, like it is a personal thing. You told me that you faced several failures in your life. You wanted to join the army, and then you got your back hurt, right? Accident, and then the next day you got your this thing, right? Recruitment in army, right? Okay, and then you couldn't join. So at that moment, how did you face your family, and then like your friends, and then your neighbors? So how did you actually feel that time?
So I think the first thing that I've learned with failure, and I kind of hold it to heart, is that don't publish till you actually achieve it, right? None of my friends, none of my family members actually know about the army recruiting. Not many people know about it, and I think that kind of helped, because when it didn't happen, I didn't have too many questions coming back asking how are you doing, or how are things with you, what happened, and stuff like that. It was just with me, my close friends, and my family, and they've been very supportive on that. And one thing also that I've learned is everything that happens happens for a reason, and you always need to look at a bigger picture. Especially with career, you cannot have a short run. If you think for the next 2, 3, 5 years, things may go well, things may not go well. If it goes well, great, but if it doesn't go well, you shouldn't be disheartened at the same time. And career is always a long shot, it's always a long marathon, and that I think is very important for everyone to understand. And once you understand that, it's but natural that you'll start facing failures. I mean, everyone does, right? Your favorite superstars have done it, your favorite superheroes have done it, your family has gone through failures, your friends have gone through failures, you will go through failures. And earlier the adoption of you seeing failure as an enemy versus you seeing failure as your best friend, I think that will make a difference. Once you start seeing that failure as your best friend, and you're able to learn from those mistakes and kind of move on, then you're always in a good space. And also to understand that no matter what you do right and everything that can go well, you can still fail. And sometimes you just need to laugh it off, brush it off, saying it's bad luck, and just move on, and you carry forward with life.
You just can't like, if you want a leader, you can't become one. The failures are the one, as you said, it will embrace you, or you will embrace it, and then you will eventually become a leader. Am I right?
Yes and no. To your point, yes, failures give you experiences that you learn, but leadership is not just about learning from your own failures, but it's also learning from others' failures as well, right? The definition of leader doesn't restrict you from leading teams. The definition of leader is not only for politicians, it's not only for management heads. It could be as simple as, to your point, leading your brother in the right direction. It could be family led as well. The only thing I would say is that the reason why we say leaders are made is because everything that a leader needs, be it information, be it the courage, be it the attribute of just going and speaking his or her mind out, that contributes to being a great leader, and all of that can be learned over a period of time. It doesn't happen. If you tell me that a leader is born, I would say you're joking, because a person is born doesn't have that experience of failure, doesn't have that experience of understanding things in depth, or has the knowledge of attributing to something that's right. So through the life, through your journeys, you try and realize, you embrace, to your point, and then you start unknowingly start giving direction to people because of your experiences, and that's what kind of translates into being a leader. It's not a definition saying if you're a manager or if you're a team lead, you automatically become a leader, right? Someone who's joined fresh into the organization, if that employee can guide the team in the right path because of the knowledge that he or she might have, because of the project that they have done in their academics, you never know, that could also be transpired, and that can also turn into be a leader. So it's not just the experience, it's not the time frame or the gap, it's just that the ability for you to understand, learn, and the learning can be through any way. It could be through soft learning, which when I say soft learning, it would be through your media learning. You would see stories, you would read stories, you would look at movies, certain things that you could translate to real life scenarios. You would learn from series, you would learn from cartoons, like I said, or you could learn from books, right? Or you learn from people. It doesn't need experience for you to do that. Maybe even a 9-year-old today can learn something from from a book and come and teach a thing or two to me, saying, hey, this is what that needs to be done, and that could be right, and that's technically still leading.
Just, I mean, right now I'm really admiring you a lot more and more, because the way you answer this question, I thought you'll be like answering it in a more professional or like in a more serious tone. But at the last, when you are about to finish it, you again took the cartoon reference. So thank you, Mr. Sam. Thanks for joining with us today. It is our immense pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, buddy.